Hi everyone and welcome to EGX Rezzed 2019. There's over 200 games on show over the next few days and we're here to play as many of them as possible. We've been trying our hand at deciphering language in archaeology, we've been playing around with double-ended dogs and even playing a few frames of snooker. We've managed to find some time to catch up with a few developers, interviewing and answering questions about how exactly these games are made, how these ideas come to fruition, and in some cases how things have changed since the previous iterations in the series. So let's see what they had to say.
Fantastic. It's our first game. It's a 2D couch and online multiplayer shooter. We're up to 4 players battling very fast, one shot, one kill matches. Over levels that change every few rounds. The game blends very fast gunfights with an over-the-top pixelated graphic style and a retro soundtrack, which is reminiscent of the 16-bit games of the past. The gameplay and the controls are dead simple, so you know how to play in a couple of rounds. We tried, although, to build a lot of depth into the game by having a very wide roster of weapons and power-ups, each one with its own strengths and weaknesses. We hope that the game will be interesting and entertaining in the long run, even for pro players.
So it's a 4X strategy survival turn-based game with role-playing and also card game mechanics, and it's all set in a dark fantasy world inspired by Slavic mythology, so slightly different from your typical fantasy settings. It's both a continuation as well as a standalone game, so I think you learn a lot. Obviously, Thea the Awakening was our first big project as a team, so there were a lot of lessons learned and things we wanted to do. So whenever we introduce a mechanic, whenever we introduce a new design feature, we try to kind of look at all the other ones and how that particular feature is going to work with the others. So say we introduced weather effects recently, those will have an effect on gameplay, on how we will gather resources and how the enemies, for example, interact with you, so they're more aggressive in the winter and so on. But this can also be used in the events editor, so then you can have events that are triggered by the weather events and things like that. So yeah, we try to incorporate every feature that we do into all the mechanics whenever possible. Obviously, it's not possible every time.
So Sigma Theory is a turn-based strategy game set in a futuristic global Cold War, and there is a paradigm-shifting technology discovery in science, and you have to run an intelligence agency and recruit special agents to try to find the scientists in the world that can harness this new technology. We've been influenced by a lot of different things, but most of my influence comes from TV series like Homeland or House of Cards. I really wanted to put the player in the role of someone that has a lot of power, but also is accountable to a lot of organizations. So I thought that doing this kind of game where you have a political power, you have responsibilities, would be interesting as an experience for the player.
So No Straight Roads is a music-centric action-adventure game. You control an indie rock band trying to topple an EDM empire. So the EDM empire has taken over the entire city and is preventing other artists from performing music. So you are rebelling against the system.
Music is something that everybody loves, and it's a shame that when we're talking about music in games or music-related games, it's always based on rhythm games. So it requires a very specific set of skills to play that game. So we want to make a game that, because since everybody loves music, so why not make a game where everybody can enjoy it? So that was the principle for this game.
All the enemies and bosses follow the music, but you're not pressured to follow the music at all. So you can jump whenever you want, you can roll whenever you want, you can move whenever you want. You're not required to have the motor skills of a rhythm gamer to be able to play this action game.
Lair of the Clockwork God, which is a new standalone adventure starring Dan and Ben from Ben There, Dan That and Time Temple and Police. It's a weird kind of hybrid platform game. So Ben, the character Ben, has decided that well, he's an old school point and click adventure bank game fan, and he will only keep his feet firmly on the ground, and he's like he will have an inventory of items to combine, and he will look at things and talk to things and all that sort of stuff. And Dan has decided that there's no money to be made in adventure games anymore, so he's going to be an indie darling platformer instead. So he's all about running and jumping and wall climbing and all that sort of stuff. And the game is basically about getting these two characters to sort of use their unique abilities to help each other out and progress through the level.
Hope you enjoyed this little roundup of EGX Rezzed 2019. Look out for Rob's written piece in the next few days. And if you like this video, like and subscribe, comment and all that good stuff. And stay tuned for more from Pass the Controller.